Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty World League presented by PS4. This is the CWL Sydney Open 1, and what an event it has been so far. Everyone here in the ESL studio live from Sydney, Australia has had an absolute blast, myself included, as well as my colleagues on the desk, Dr. Curry and Vile Cider. Thank you for joining me in what's going to be a firecracker of a match. We just saw the Chiefs on main stage, and we're going to see them again, not in the grudge match versus Hopi & Co., but this is still going to be one hell of a match versus Validate.Black.
Validate.Black, they definitely deserve to be here. It's not an easy task taking out the guys of Prodigy. Yes, we want to see the fairy tale story of Hopi going up against his old team and beating them, but hey, not all fairy tales end well, unfortunately.
Let's check out the matches that are still coming up, including this one on main stage. Here is the schedule of things to come. Validate.Black versus the Chiefs. Chiefs just had a very impressive 3-1 victory over Validate Red. Can they do the same against the sister team of Validate.Black? This is going to be quite the challenge after Validate.Black are hot off their victory versus Prodigy Esports. Next, we go finally back to the winners bracket, the first time since day 2 of this event, where we will have the two juggernauts of the scene, Mind Freak versus Tainted Minds. This is what everyone is touting to be the grand final, but Validate.Black and Chiefs both have something to say about that, after which we will, of course, have the losers bracket final, followed by our grand final match, where one winning team will get 10,000 pro points in the lion's share of a $30,000 prize pool. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most stacked event we've ever seen in the Asia Pacific region, with a record-breaking 30 teams, and we are psyched about it. Kyle, we've already seen so much action take place over the weekend, and a lot of it has come from Chiefs and Validate.Black.
Yeah, I mean, Chiefs and Validate.Black have been playing huge each. I don't think they're as quite as tight seeing Mind Freak and TM. They've made a few little errors here and there that I think are going to be absolutely capitalized on by Mind Freak and TM. But I mean, in saying that, they've been playing pretty well today. Let's see what they got for us.
It's going to be one hell of a match, ladies and gentlemen. Let's check these guys out. We saw the Chiefs. They are now up against Validate.Black. Both of these teams obviously stamping their names on this event. The Chiefs had such a great run in their previous series, and you can see here by their win-loss record, 15 maps to 5 for Chiefs, 15 to 4 for Validate. You cannot get much closer than that, Will.
Look, they're both on streaks, and streaks are meant to be broken. Validate.Black, at the start of this event, I called them to be a top 4 team. And a few people did down me, even on the desk. We discussed it. Not too many people were too confident in that. We now have our top 4. And it's Validate.Black that have kind of snuck their way in a little bit. We were tipping Prodigy to do it, and they took out the best squad that we had.
Yeah, I mean, look, commiserations to Hopi & Co. on the Prodigy squad. They have been eliminated from the competition. They still made a very respectable finish and a great run in that losers bracket, but Validate.Black, the better team on the day, and they are here up against the Chiefs. Speaking of which, we've already seen them on stage, but let's take a look at them once again. Dean, Eminent, Fate, and Lakey, the two boys in the middle, are who I want to talk about. Kyle, what kind of juice is Eminence on to be beaming the way he is? His shots have been on point. He's got that 40 bomb in the uplink, and then of course Fate lighting up at the end, but these guys were playing on another level.
Yeah, Josh. I mean, I want whatever Eminence is on. This is incredible play from him. 40 and 18 in uplink. That's honestly damn impressive.
Now, the Chiefs, they obviously have that big win under their belt, and now they have to do it again under another Validate squad. We shall see if they can pull it off. It's going to be absolutely huge. Of course, whoever wins this series will be taking on the loser of the winners bracket final between Mind Freak and Tainted Minds. The Chiefs, we just checked them out. They are up against Validate.Black. Let's have a look at this roster. Baka, Beck, Maka, Rival, and Swift Azor. Kyle, these guys have been across professional teams for the last few years, really. All of them with CWL Pro League experience from 2016. This is a stacked roster. Tell us a little bit about them.
They've all been in the scene for quite a while. Maka has gone international more times than I can count. One of the first players in the Australian scene to really, back in like Black Ops 2, competed at the Call of Duty Championships, and a bit of wouldn't go into detail about how that went. But look, we're in the future now. Let's talk about what is currently going down. Everyone on the team of Validate.Black, very well known. Carl, I just want to give you a question though. Swiftazor, a lot of people have doubted him coming into this event. Sometimes a lot of his performance is a little bit inconsistent. He can't be doing that against the Chiefs lineup.
No way. You absolutely have to have a consistent series, especially on Championship Sunday, Curry. I'm hoping for big things out of the man here today.
This is going to be one hell of a lineup. As I said, a great series ahead of us, ladies and gentlemen. I do hope you've enjoyed all of the action so far. This is going to be great. The Chiefs, they looked a bit shaky at the beginning of their previous series, but Curry, obviously very fair to say they've warmed up by now.
Yeah, that first map, I think we can put it down to the fact that they hadn't actually played before. Previous to that series, they had no warm-up or anything. They were thrown on the main stage and expected to go up against a team who were 2 series deep, riding off a lot of emotions. Kyle, as a player, you could probably vouch for me in saying that going against a team that is red hot when you haven't even touched a controller in a few hours is not an ideal situation.
Oh, definitely. I mean, look to the past. We've seen series in Black Ops 2 where the old MF squad had come up against sort of a chin team. I believe that was Rixie and co from Rebellious that we saw. They came in hot. They played really well, but I mean, they took the first map. There was a lot of trash talk, but it sort of just tapered off and died down.
This is going to be a great one. We've said stacked lineups for both teams. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to hear the thoughts from the players themselves. So let's go to the main stage where we've got Eminence and Macca to hear their thoughts on the upcoming series.
Thanks, Josh. Yeah, 2 gentlemen. Honestly, I couldn't think of anyone better to talk to before this series. Macca, don't doubt yourself. Firstly, congratulations, top 4. You boys must be feeling fantastic. That's a great effort.
Yeah, it is, considering that we've only been a team for like maybe 2 weeks. Picked up Nate for flares, and we've shown pretty good results so far, and we're hoping to continue them.
What is it about you guys right now that's getting you to this point? Is it that you're just good individually? Is it that you've come together, you've stratted? What are you finding?
We've worked on a bit. Leading up, we had 2 really bad hardpoint maps, and then we had really bad S&D maps. And then when we lost the TM last night, we stayed here for like an extra half an hour to go over stuff. So it's more that we're teamwork orientated, but we're still obviously skilled individuals. So yeah.
You're still getting the frags, but you're doing the other work that's required. Eminence, I'm going to congratulate you on being top 4 as well, though, to be fair. It's less of an exciting thing for the Chiefs because, to be fair, I think most people expected you to at least get top 3, and there's an opportunity right now to make that happen. You took down one Validate team. Are you going to take down the other?
We're going to do our best. We haven't versed this new Validate team yet. I'm really looking forward to versing them. I was just teaming with Buckerbeck, who's a part of their lineup about 2 weeks ago. He's a great mate of mine, and I'm looking forward to the match.
Did you get any opportunity to have a look at these guys across the weekend at all? Obviously, you guys have played a large number of games yourselves. Has there been an opportunity to check out any VODs or anything like that?
I was sitting in the venue watching them play Rebellious, and they've been doing pretty well. I've also stood behind them while they play a few other matches, and they've been performing well. So I expect great things from them.
I'm just going to put this game aside for 30 seconds. Okay, the next game after this, Mind Freak up against Tainted Minds. I just want your result for that one. Put that out there.
MF.
What's the score?
Don't know.
What's the score for this game going to be?
I want a 3-2.
I want a 3-2 as well. Macca, what do you reckon?
If we play well, it can be a 3-0, but given that they're a strong team, I reckon it'll be 3-2 either way.
Well, your teammates or your brothers from the same org managed to go 3-1, so I'm hoping you can go at least one better than that. But if you can pick up 3 rounds out of this one, three maps, that's going to be one hell of a feat. So, gentlemen, I'd like to invite you to shake hands and head back to your consoles. Josh, I keep saying these are going to be good games, and we've had some fantastic ones so far this weekend, but I reckon Macca and the boys are going to take it to the Chiefs. It's going to be very, very close.
We've had amazing games all weekend. Thank you, Ben, and thank you, gentlemen, Eminence and Macca. Calm, composed, and very respectful players and well respected in our scene for good reason, both true professionals in their own right. I am not underestimating either team, and I wouldn't be surprised if it goes the distance. Chiefs, however, we saw in that previous series, they're fired up, ready to go, but they're up against this rather new Validate squad, as Maka was just saying, but there's so much raw talent there.
There is, and both teams are red hot. They've come out of series where it has been make or break for them, and Validate.Black turning heads. I would have expected Prodigy to win that series. A lot of people do. Looking at social media, even Hopey feels as though it was a bit of a choke by Prodigy. At the end of the day, Validate.Black, they're your top 4. They're here on the stage, and they're against the Chiefs. Maka even giving them respect by saying they don't think it's going to be a 3-0. They see it going to a map 5. That's just how close these two teams are, even with the fact that Validate.Black have only been together for roughly 2 weeks.
Well, Maka can be cheeky at times, and the fact that he was so well composed and very respectful to Eminence and the Chiefs there probably shows how much of a serious threat that he takes them, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, that was exactly what I was going to say. He's got a lot of respect for his opponents, and he is known to sort of like say nice things and then just be a little bit dirty in the back. But I like that. I like that from Maka. I think this is going to be a great series, Josh.
We'll be checking out the maps in just a second, ladies and gentlemen, because I think it's going to come down to maybe these individual map choices and what we're going to be seeing. We're going back to a retaliation hardpoint to kick us off. The Chiefs lost their first hardpoint in the previous series. Kyle, how do you think this one's going to go?
Well, I know from speaking to Maka that this is their best hardpoint map, so I've got to shoe in for Validate.Black to take map 1 here, especially if Chiefs had a rough loss in this.
If Eminence is shooting the way he is and Fate turns up to play, I think it may just go the other way. What do you think, Curry?
Regardless of the players that we just mentioned, if Lakey turns up, in my opinion, he is the one to watch. New to the squad, he went absolutely off at MLG Atlanta, really did help his team get some important series and important maps. And he's the type of player that when the spotlight's on him and he's in a situation where he has to perform, either he's going to crumble or he's just going to go leaps and bounds.
I think Lakey's going to be a name we hear a lot throughout this series and throughout this beginning hardpoint as well. Kyle, I know you had some thoughts on that. I think this entire lineup is going to be just really giving it to Validate.Black at the start of this one.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm a little bit nervous for Lakey, actually. I ran into him in a bathroom break just there, and he doesn't seem to be too happy with himself. He's told me that this is probably the worst weekend of COD he's had in a while.
We shall find out if that's actually true as we continue this series. Scorch, Search and Destroy, and Throwback Uplink will be at the maps we see at minimum. Following that, if we get to it, a Scorch hardpoint, then a Crusher, Search and Destroy if we get to map number 5. We're mixed up here on the caster desk. You know, some of us thinking Validate.Black do have the edge. Some of us think the Chiefs. I'm not really sure which way it's going to go, but no doubt it is going to be an absolute firecracker. Now, this one is going to be great, of course. As we've mentioned, one team will be eliminated in the 4th position of the CWL Sydney Open presented by PS4. The winner will go up against the loser of Mind Freak versus Tainted Minds, and that one is coming up next. The audience are psyched for it. Those of you tuning in at home, make sure you share the stream. We're live at mlg.tv. Use that hashtag CWLPS4. We're going to be getting into the action. Kyle, retaliation, hardpoint. You already gave us your thoughts. We're thinking Maka and co over on Validate.Black are going to start off strong. What do you think we'll see in the first couple of hardpoints?
Well, I mean, Lakey, if he's having a rough event, he's one of the main ARs for the boys here on Chiefs. So, I mean, if he's having a rough time against the pretty strong ARs of the likes of Maka and Swift, I mean, this could go sort of either way, but it's a little bit scary for Chiefs here on this first match.
A lot of the series that we've seen on the main stage, it comes down to how map number 1 actually plays out and who comes out of the gates blistering. Fate had a series previously on against Validate Red where he was, 10 for 22 at one stage, and it was like, what's going on here? I think that was a huge factor into why they weren't able to actually get that map under their belt. Granted, again, we've discussed it in depth that Validate.Black came in hot though. Everyone from Chiefs needs to be on point though, because Validate.Black, they're the team that you give them an inch, they're going to run a mile.
Well, Curry, this is the T4 right now. This isn't just sort of like amateur teams on the up and up. This is T4. This is Championship Sunday. This is where the big guns come out to play, and I'm honestly interested to see what goes down here.
Going through the players there, that of course was the Chiefs lineup. the rig draft that you did see briefly. Nothing in particular or too special out of that one as we swing on over to the guys from Validate.Black. Swiftazor on your screen in the middle there. We highlighted him as a key player who needs to perform well now under the spotlights. And Back on the far right, the most recent pickup. There are the two squads head to head. Kyle, map number 1. Who's it starting to favor?
Well, look, we've said it once and we're going to say it again. I think Validate.Black are going to take this out. I would like to start off with the guys at Chiefs. I think Eminence had a pretty big series last series, and I would love to see what he can do for us.
As we swing on into the action, it is Eminence on your screens. Map number 1 of the championship bracket, losers half, round 6. Done and dusted if you lose this one, and the winner has an even worse task as they go up against the loser of the Battle of the Mind series. That is up next. Eminence still on your screens, just wants to gun everything still. He had such an amazing uplink, Kyle, where he was able to drop over 40 kills. Here we are on another respawn. Can he do it again?
But look, he's honestly getting flawless reads. He opened up with a kill, and he cleans up Maka. Just straight up easy reads. It's 22-0 on this first hard point, and no one from really Validate.Black are in a position to do anything.
Great start by the Chiefs as they've already racked up 25 points. Here comes the contestant to the hill, Swiftazor. Can't do much as Dean picks up a double, and the support from Lakey allows him to gain it back as there will be still players fresh off the spawn from Validate.Black in a good position, but the Chiefs winning those early gunfights.
Yeah, I mean, Validate.Black, I did make a little bit of an error there. They were pushed up and set up for a play, and they had a 4-stack, but it just did not work out. And Chiefs are going to maintain spawns going into this rotation.
How do you feel about Eminence there just challenging the final few seconds of that hill? Is it even worth his time?
Well, in that position that he was in, he really needed to push, get that kill, and then push through for spawns. So yes, good contest, but he didn't really push through for spawns.
Fate, he's going to make it through the lobby in the hallway. Can't find anyone. Validate.Black now getting their first few points on the board. There goes the Fletchit, but he's not going to take out the player. Plaque control throughout this weekend, Kyle, in the Australian and New Zealand scene, it doesn't seem like a priority to a lot of these teams.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. I mean, it allows you basically just free line of sight to pinch out the point. I mean, whatever side your team is spawning on, they're going to push in, and then you can crossfire from Platt.
Back drops out of the bedroom but can't do much, and he's got to rely on his teammates to get those kills to get the Chiefs out of it. The Chiefs already was 50 points. Validate.Black in the process of that had managed to get 30. So at this stage, 2 hills in, Chiefs was a bit of a lead so far.
Yeah, a little bit of a risky play from Maka there. He threw his life in the bin. He was probably the only player in a position to cut market and basically prevent the hemorrhaging of the points continuing to happen and to stop Chiefs from getting rotation to this hard point, which is exactly what they've done.
Back has been waiting out the front of the Cathedral Hill, picks up one before traded out by his former teammate Eminence. That makes it a double trouble. Rival on your screens now had just picked up 1 kill. No one in the hill as of yet, as Swiftazor does drop. Can he get the kill on Fate? He does too, and he doesn't get the 2-piece. Lakey going big. We highlighted him at the start, and it's those important gunfights that he's winning. And at the same time, he's picking up 2 kills in the process.
Yeah, that was huge. I mean, Lakey did talk a little bit of smack about himself, but he just showed up there with a pretty big 2-piece to break that hill for his team.
Now, one player we haven't discussed as much throughout the weekend has been Dean on the Chiefs lineup. What type of role is he going to be focusing on in this core Chiefs lineup?
I mean, Dean used to be the superstar of his earlier rosters, but at the moment it's sort of been a little bit more reserved, a little bit more relaxed. He's going to be sort of the calm voice in everyone's ear. He's going to be pretty relaxed throughout this series, and he's going to be picking up a lot of the sort of traded out kills and potentially be doing a little bit of the less fancy footwork that we would expect Fate to be doing.
Broken was held by Validate.Black, but not for long. The Chiefs have decided to make a statement, and they are inching towards 100 points. Kyle, we're getting towards the end of this first rotation with a few more, definitely a few more to come. What are your thoughts so far on what you've seen?
Well, Chiefs are sort of just outslaying Validate.Black. It's not by much, but it's sort of enough to sort of justify this 40-point lead. And they've really gotten the kills off of the hard point, which is really the difference between the KDs here.
Yeah, running through the KDs, the only player that's not performing as well as you'd expect would be Maka. We talked about the role that Dean has on his Chief squad. What about Maka's for Validate.Black?
Well, Maka's having a little bit of a rough series, and I did mention that error he made earlier. I would like to point out what Back is doing right here. He's on a 5-kill streak, he's working streaks, he's 175 off of his next ones, and he's getting this early rotation. Unfortunately, gets taken out in the back by Eminence.
That could have been so crucial as we moved into some of those more open hard points in the second rotation. Eminence now, he's gaining that plat control.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we saw Nimble yesterday. Huge amount of streaks, able to break these later hard points. I would have liked to see just a little bit more play for streaks for him just then.
Maka has gained 2 kills since we last brought it up, and one of them was just an, absolutely laser beams Eminence in that one. But Chiefs contesting him. Lakey's in the hill, not someone you want to go up against, but Dean will steal that kill away before Rival answers back. Was a double of his own.
Yeah, Maka then, I think he just screwed up that push a little bit for his team. Even though they have come out ahead, he sort of pushed a little bit early and didn't have anyone to trade with, so he sort of threw his life in the bin. But I mean, look at the scores. It's 105 to 111, and Validate.Black are perfectly set up for his hardpoint and the next rotation.
Eminence is doing a phenomenal job in that slaying department. Again, 15 kills, not a few more deaths than that uplink that we saw against Validate Red, but coming out hot again.
Who cares? He's got heaps of huge 2-pieces, and they haven't just been like little significant or insignificant ones. They've been really important ones that have sort of won the map control.
First payload of the game is gained by Swift Azor. It's going to be the FTL jump, as he will be pushing out towards Curve, picks up one on Eminence. The second player gets the cons from his teammate and destroys Faye. It was a clean headshot before the pre-fire from Dean takes him out, allowing Bakabek to rack up more time for his team. It's 1, 2, 3 apiece for these guys. What a map 1 to start this series.
Well, this is huge. It looks like we've got Rival set up on the hill. It looks like he's just chilling out land prone and playing for contest. And we're 123 all on probably one of the most hotly contested hardpoints on the map. It looks like Validate have come out on top. Excellent, excellent work there from Rival. Great heads up play to play slow and just chill out and wait for his teammates to spawn up and back him up.
So far, Dean has made a great run towards that Centurion payload as he picks up his 20th kill there. Great job by Dean so far. Eminence has slowed down a little bit. Lakey not getting as many kills as you would have expected. Into lower street we go, and Lakey, no!
Wow, Lakey
That,
just got...
I kind of wish I didn't see that.
Yeah, that was
I
a bit
really
rough.
didn't.
That honestly was a bit rough. Poor bloke there, and he's going to get taken out, and it looks like this is going to be early control of the hardpoint to Chiefs. But they've given it up because Validate.Black are now fully in control here.
Rival just needs one more quarter to get that active camo, and with the lead, they're in a great position. Good read onto Lakey for that one. Swifters are still yet to use his FTL jump alongside Lakey. Payloads are starting to become a big importance here. Eminence is very close to his active camo, and the Centurion still for Dean not picked up as he's 1 kill and maybe an assist away from getting it.
Yeah, look, Dan's going to push out. He's going to clean up a pretty big hill then. He needs to get this last frag on a hard point, but no, never mind. His teammate cleans it up. And Dan's going to be sort of solo working for spawns here. He's going to have a pretty big engagement as we see this next rotation.
Eminence is slowed down in the slaying department. He's actually got 6 deaths to his 1 kill. What's changed? What has Validate.Black done to just shut down Eminence?
Well, I did see a good couple of 2-pieces there from Maka, so it looks like he might have just gotten straight up owned, to be honest.
Straight up owned.
Yep.
Owned and pwned. That's what Vilesider has said. Maka is waiting for Chiefs to push on in. They're in the kill feed, but they're not in his face just yet. You can tell by the mini-map that it's going to be a 4-man push. Eminence and Dean combined to get the first ones, and that is an easy break for Chiefs. Validate.Black didn't give Maka much support there.
No, it was a little bit rough for him, but it looks like Chiefs are pretty nicely set up here. Going to be a bit tough for Validate to break this hard point. I don't think they really want to be doing that this late in the game. I'm a little bit nervous about Swift here. He's pushing out, sort of wrapping around, potentially blocking those spawns at the back. I think it's probably better for him to die, and he does. And luckily, he's going to get spawns cross-map. As we see, Fate is actually blocking the lower street spawns.
So with 10 seconds remaining on this hill, where do we need to focus on these rotations, Carl?
Oh, they absolutely need to be pushed out and setting up exactly how they are. Validate.Black have done a good job of basically getting that anchor and then having enough numbers around the middle so they can just sort of slow down the Chiefs guys from actually being even able to contest this hardpoint.
Now, with less than 50 points needed for Validate.Black to walk away with map number 1, Rival is just 1 kill away from his active camo in a fantastic position to defend this hardpoint. No one from the Chiefs in the past 20 seconds has been able to even touch Broken as the comms come out. The one player's trying to be sneaky. There it is. He pops it instantly, knowing that there is a player behind him, and that is a great use of the payload. And still, Validate.Black locking down Broken. 30 seconds of uncontested hill time. By the looks of it, they might, if they hold this without Chiefs touching it once, that is going to be map 1 done and dusted.
Well, this is huge. This could literally be GG, like you just said here. And they do have numbers, and it looks like Chiefs are just spawning all the way out on bridge.
Eminence needs to get 1 kill here to get the active
Oh my
camo.
God,
He
Eminence.
needs to pop it instantly. 1 player in front of him. He's going to charge. He loses a gunfight to Swiftazor.
Are they
And
gonna
that
get this?
might be all she wrote.
Oh,
The active camo
Reese.
doesn't do it. And what happened there in the end there, Chiefs? It was such a close game. The rotations came through to Broken. And that was it. That was GG right there. Validate.Black just holding it down for an uncontested 60 seconds.
Gentlemen, what a hard point to kick this off. But may I remind you, this was the exact same score that we saw the previous Validate team take off Chiefs at the beginning of their series. It was 250 to 180. This could be deja vu, but yes, I totally agree. Validate.Black seem to be playing on another level.
Absolutely. It just have to bring back up the use of the payloads there. Eminence started off so strong with his slaying and then just kind of died off. If he had picked up that active camo 20 seconds earlier, 30 seconds, they could have contested that hill, got the easy kills, and brought it to a different scenario.
Now look, this was such a huge map to start off the series. Chiefs really needed to win that one to start off hot against Validate.Black, who obviously just eliminated Prodigy. Kyle, there was a few errors made by Chiefs, but really it was neck and neck. Tell me, in your opinion, where was the real big change in momentum that got Validate.Black that lead and eventual victory?
Well, Josh, the huge swing was basically the early rotation out to the opposite side of Broken there. They had a pretty hotly contested graveyard hardpoint. And I mean, it sort of worked out, but there was a bit of a scary moment where Swift pushed through all the old spawns and almost could have screwed things up for his team if he hadn't have died and basically spawned out with his team. So I think it was all on that Broken rotation, nice and early, giving up early points and just basically locking down. Was it a full 60?
I think it was. Now, we saw a nice early lead to Chiefs, and you can see here as we go through the highlights, they're still in front as we went back to Hallway and Validate.Black here as we're setting up that rotation, started coming back. It was 111 to 105, and now next minute you're going to be seeing 170 and then eventually the win for Validate.Black. It was really about that halfway moment, Curry, halfway through the map where Validate.Black just really stormed home, and that big play by, well, what was trying to be a big play from Eminence to shut down Validate.Black right on that last Broken hardpoint didn't happen.
What was fantastic in that highlight replay that we saw was Rival using his active camo effectively, knowing that there was a player behind him, got the pick out the front, instantly activated it to defend the hill, and that is how these specialists and these payloads are being used effectively. In the end, you got to say Validate.Black getting it earlier and effectively using it. That, to me, that's the difference. Of course, so many of these maps just come down to who gets the payloads first and who can actually use it effectively.
Now, we're going to be seeing a Search and Destroy come up next. Of course, it is going to be on Scorch. Kyle, we've talked about this map so much. We've seen it all throughout the championship bracket. We've seen how both of these teams play Search and Destroys as well. In the previous series, Chiefs walked away with a comfortable win on their Search and Destroy. In your opinion, what have they got to do to take the W on this Search and Destroy from Validate.Black?
Well, I think they have to continue to basically just shut down Maka. I mean, he didn't really have a great series yesterday when we saw him playing on that map, so I think if we just keep stuffing him up, it should make things a little bit difficult. And I would like to also say that I think TM's play was nice and slow on that map, and it really caught them off guard.
We're heading into the rig draft of the second map of the series, Chiefs versus Validate.Black. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a huge series and a great way to finish off Championship Sunday of the CWL Sydney Open presented by PS4. We appreciate your support. Remember, the loser of this series will be eliminated in that fourth spot. The winner takes on the loser of Mind Freak versus Tainted Minds, the winner's bracket final, which will be coming up on main stage next. Before we get there, we need to find a victor, and Curry, this is going to be as S&D to make or break the Chiefs. If Validate.Black get this win as well, they may just walk away with this series in a very impressive fashion.
And that's what they have to do, though, because the team that they're going to be up against next is going to be one of the mines. It's going to be Tainted Mines or Mind Freak. They have to, whoever wins this series has to win it dominantly, in my opinion, if they want to have a chance at even getting to the grand final and versing whoever wins out of the winner bracket final.
Yeah, Will, I completely agree with you. And I mean, Mind Freak are just going to capitalize on any errors and any weak plays. And I mean, we've talked about Fate a little bit. We've talked about the guys from Chiefs sort of playing a little bit hot and cold. And I mean, Fate finished that up with 14 and 21. Not good.
Not good at all. That's the easiest way to say it, sum it up. I just want to get into this one. Back on your screens there. Need to keep an eye on him. He has so much search and destroy knowledge. He's going to be a key factor if Validate.Black want to be able to go up 2-0 in this series. But we saw it once before where Chiefs have lost a map that on paper, a lot of people saw them doing it. I can see them bouncing back, but at the same time, Validate.Black are just turning heads in all the right ways.
Yeah, I mean, Validate.Black, I think they're a stronger S&D team than Chiefs. I mean, the guys in Validate.Black have a lot more history playing S&D than really anyone on that roster there. I mean, I guess we look to Lakey for having a little bit of XP there, but I mean, he's the young gun, and he's not quite playing as well as we would have expected him to this series.
Now, as we get into Scorch, Kyle, where are going to be the main points on the map that we need to keep an eye on where your key engagements are going to happen?
Well, there's going to be quite a bit of a mess around Drill. Going to be huge fights around Blue as well, and the Blue to Maps fight is probably going to be pretty significant.
Swift as all, bomb in hand, and he's in the front line. That's what you love to see from your designated OBJ search and destroy player. Not spotting anyone just yet. What do you think of this setup by the Chiefs? They're all in one straight line.
Well, it's pretty much exactly how you see this map played mainly. Have 2 in lab, have probably 2 out at Blue, but it's not quite happening there, and I like his play from lab.
Oh.
Sorry, Validate.Black. It was a good push, but I didn't really have any support to trade that out, and it comes in a little bit too late there from Rival.
Picks up the bomb, and with support from his team, creates a 2v2 situation. Dean and Fate up against Rival and Back. All the players except for Dean have a kill on their name, as Dean, he is just right now rotating with his teammate. Both of them, all players just on complete opposite sides. But with the final 30 seconds, you can expect to see some engagement soon.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think we saw both the right plays out of both pairs of plays. They sort of grouped up, rotated out. I do like that Validate.Black played a little bit slower, but I mean, that's to be expected from them. That's sort of how they play. And they get the bomb down nice and early, right before the guys from Chiefs can get a rotation. But Rival does pick up early kills onto Fate, so it's going to be a 1v2 for Dean.
Now, they don't know Dean's positioning just yet, but spotting the bomb, Dean has a rough idea of where Validate.Black are going to set up and needs to get that initial first kill without taking much to little to any damage. And that's exactly what he's done. That's a clutch kill, and Rival turns around.
Oh, that was tight.
That was close. He managed to get a bullet on him. But I do believe the player, it was Back, doesn't miss any shots on that one except for the first one. For a second there, though, I thought D was about to get a crazy 1v2 clutch.
Oh, man. I mean, Dean played that exactly how he had to. He knew the other team would basically back up there. And just look at that range with the bomb site. And there's no way he's going to be able to push up that long haul on his own. It's going to be way too much of a mess. He did the right thing, but it didn't work out, unfortunately, in the end.
Who from the Chiefs lineup on the aggressive side now would you like to watch coming into round 2?
I mean, who have we got? Who's playing up well? No one in particular. Let's follow Dean. He's first up. He's going to be a little bit aggressive, sort of baiting things out. Does eat the nade. He sort of knows where a couple of the Validate.Black players are right now, though.
Feels like a missed opportunity there. Could have cleaned up first blood for his squad, but Lakey's going to do the job for him. Redemption as he gets one. Can he get the second player? They're right below him. Was the final bullet drops Rival. Lucky there was the hip fire, and before I can even comment, that's the end of the round. Chiefs answer back with one of their own.
I mean, that was just unforced errors there. Like, why do they dive mid? They're on defense. There's no real need to push that. I mean, you're coming up against a couple of head glitches, but just why?
Do you see many teams on the defensive side just be aggressive and push that mid, or is that just a bit of an unorthodox play that just didn't work out for Validate.Black?
Probably a little bit of an unorthodox play, but I mean, if they're going to do that, they have to go together as a full unit, so they at least trade out the kills rather than just sort of throwing their lives in the bin one at a time.
Lakey 2 rounds in is already halfway towards his payload, but we'll go on the aggressive team. Rival is the closest as well, and he has active camo for his squad, so he's doing a great job. What a cheeky angle there to looking towards mid, and Back draws first blood, taking out Eminence, a key player and hype man for Chiefs. numbers advantage. You start to see them work as a squad and get that rotation on towards B. There is one player, however, just situated on the bomb. It is Lakey, and he can't get a single kill before Back drops it.
Yeah, that's a little bit rough. I'm not sure why Lakey would sit there. He's usually their NV4 player. Would have liked to see that perhaps a little bit switched around. But it's going to be down to Fate in a 1v4. Sees bomb go down, shoots a player in the back, gets a nade out, but unfortunately gets traded out to end the round.
Do you think that was a smart idea by Fate in a 1v4 situation just to instantly peek the bomb? Surely you would have thought that the guys at Validate.Black, seems like they've made it this far to top 4. They're not going to be doing those amateur mistakes of being split up across the map.
Well, you really don't have a choice in that situation. There's a brief window where that basically becomes a 3v1 instead of a 4v1. So he grabs that bomb, kills that player, and then maybe he can clutch out the round.
How should players approach those clutch situations when the numbers are against them then?
Well, I think Fate made the right decision. He contested the player, probably wouldn't have jumped, might have just taken a little bit like more of a peek and back down.
Eminence, who dropped instantly in that round, is yet to get a kill. Would be expecting him to pick up one now, but it's only Tag City for him as he doesn't notice the second player. We can tell by X-Way where they're located, but Eminence can't, unfortunately. No one dropping just yet. And this is the 4th round in a row that we've seen so much attention towards the middle of the map. And finally, Eminence is able to get one kill before, or like so many players actually die. It's down to Rival all of a sudden in a 1v2 situation. Can he clutch it out? He is on the defending side, and he's got to wait for the Chiefs to push towards him.
Yeah, honestly, I've got faith in Rival here. He's in a good position. He's got plenty of time to work with. And I mean, well, who's carrying bomb right now?
Oh, that's unfortunate. That
Got
is
one.
just COD timing at its worst, as Rival was thinking there was a rotation coming in through his spawn. No, Chiefs decided to pull back, make the trek through, and didn't even see it coming.
Yeah, I feel like Rival would have thought they saw him cross to the back there, and that's sort of why he set up with his back to that angle. Unfortunately, the guys on Chiefs just didn't see him, and he copped the L for it.
Well read by them. Validate.Black now on the attacking side. Do you want to see them switch it up? Maybe not go for that standard push down mid?
I mean, has the mid push really worked for either team? It's 2-2. It's sort of been a little bit messy. Perhaps maybe a little bit more focus out on drill. It looks like the Chiefs guys have stacked that side out, so luckily they didn't push there.
We've seen some crazy plays this weekend happen in the middle of Scorch. Notably, Flares' amazing 1v3. Maybe they want to get their own highlight. Lakey picks up first blood, and that is the FTL jump available for him. I like the setup here from the Chiefs on the B bomb side. Validate.Black make the wrong call and go towards the B bomb side. They're just going to run into a tough situation. Rival, he's trying to team up with his teammates. What do you think about Swiftazor, though, by himself pushing B?
Well, his teammate's going to rotate over to him. We've already seen the call. Looking at back coming across now. But he pushes out on his own, and they aren't able to trade that out, unfortunately.
Backerbeck now in a 1v4. We've had a few of those as Backerbeck is just not much he can really do. Bomb down in a very obvious position. Chiefs would have calmed that out and just have to wait for him to really challenge, and that is going to be the 3rd round for Chiefs. This is a close search and destroy already, Kyle. We're nearly halfway into it in terms of potential map count. A little bit too close to call, though.
Yeah, not sure that I totally agree with all these middle pushes. Probably, especially pushing Backerbeck up there with bomb. Maybe just have him basically back down a little bit and play a little bit more passive. Maybe try and look for like a bait middle than a push B, and allow someone that can actually aggress forward without sort of losing that key objective to the middle of the map.
Eminence now has some kills against his name, and this is what I like to see. No players are going to be going towards mid, but it's a full 4v4 on the B bomb side, and it looks like it would be Validate.Black that are going to get this one just like that. It's done and dusted. Wow, that was just two teams just running head on, and it seems like Validate.Black just had the better angles at the end of the day.
Yeah, Validate.Black just basically bossed up and pushed through and destroyed everyone.
Was that a well-read play by Validate.Black, or is that luck?
No, that's a good read. I mean, you don't do those 4 stacks if you aren't expecting people to be there.
Swiftazor is the closest for his team towards his payload, and Backerbeck shortly behind him was the reactive armor. Lakey has yet to use the FTL jump. Would love to see him just get it used and then even potentially work towards getting your second one. Shaky shots, nothing really happening there, as it is going to be a slower round by Validate.Black. Good to see them after a fast-paced, aggressive round. Just pull it back and understand the situation a little bit more. Take their time on this 7th round.
Yeah, it's interesting to see they're going with this play again where they have someone pretty pushed up hard out. I don't mind it, but I think I prefer the sort of more passive play that the Mindfreak tend to do.
You do see one player, though. That's Backerbeck. He's all by himself, and this could be a huge play. Finds one player in the back, Fate, drops him like that, and Validate.Black all of a sudden get their 4th round as well. And when Validate.Black win these rounds, it's not like one gunfight, 10 seconds later, another gunfight, they all die instantly.
Yeah, I mean, they're finally playing a little bit more decisively. They're pushing as a team, and they're not hitting middle as messily as before. I like it.
Validate.Black are only 2 rounds away right now from going 2 up in this series. Kyle, are they about to pull an upset and go up 2-0 against Chiefs?
Oh, I certainly hope so. I mean, they're playing well. They deserve this. They've clutched out the late game in the last map, and they're playing pretty solidly here. I mean, why not?
I've got Rival selected just to see that active camo that he has available. That could be a huge playmaking potential. He's actually popped it and gone for the middle push. Finds one player. Hipfire was the second, but he's got support. And again, 3 players drop instantly for Validate.Black. Fate is in a terrible situation. They know where he is. They're chasing him. He just gets around the corner. And now he's got to reset, regen that health, and try and find an angle in which to approach these 2 Chiefs players. And he's done a very good job at it. And they're so close to each other, just dipping and dodging. They don't even know it, and you can hear the comms from the players. It seems like Validate.Black were able to spot him. One tag comes in, challenges like that, and Validate.Black one search and destroy round away from going 2 up in the series.
I know. I mean, I'd like to point out just right then and there that Fate actually tried to pull away as far as possible so he could make use of his NV4 versus the 2 K-bars that he's going to be expecting out of the other team. Great heads-up play from him. Good rotations as well, but unfortunately, the guys from Validate.Black just outread him.
We go into potentially the final round of map number 2, Search and Destroy on Scorch in your losers bracket championship side. This is a championship bracket, of course. Top 4 teams have been decided. Where they place, we will find out. Right now, Backabek does have that reactive armor, doesn't decide to pop it, and it's going to cost him his life as Fate comes flying in, drawing a kill. Swiftazor still with the bomb. Maka yet to really make any real play potential. It's only 3 kills to his name.
I mean, that was an exceptionally important kill to get there on Backabek. I mean, he could have easily clutched out this round on his own. We still have payloads in place. Swiftazor with his FTL. Oh, Lakey managed to delete Maka there, and there's no trades possible. So it's going to be a 1v3 for Swiftazor as he pushes out this bomb site. Nice. Good read. Sees the first player. Is he going to get the second?
FTL jump!
FTL doesn't know where the last player is. What is happening?
Oh.
They've gone back to back. There's no idea what's happening.
Oh, Lakey popped his FTL jump as well. They've both lost each other. In the process of that, Swiftazor just jumps in front of Lakey. Not too often you see both FTL jumps used at the exact same moment. Lakey maybe getting a bit lucky there, but what a great play by him to instantly see that payload being used and reactively using his.
Yeah, solid effort. I mean, he was jumping backwards, expecting him to be underneath him at sort of any point in time, and he was just never there.
Yeah, he fooled me as well. I was like, what has happened? Has that player just disappeared off the map? No, Lakey was using the payload effectively and gets his team their 4th round. They can't afford to lose another round in this search and destroy, and they want to take this one slow. I'm quite happy to see that. I think they need to just pace this one out and take their time. Maka is just peeking towards that B site, and did he spot that player? It doesn't seem like he did. He's just trying to get as much information for his team as he can.
Alright, I like this last play. I mean, this is something we see a lot in the late game search and destroy when you absolutely have to clinch at a round. Good slow passive play from each team. I think in probably about the next 10 seconds, we're going to start to see the guys from Chiefs have to elect a bomb site and push it out. Though they are a little bit 2-2 split. And there we go. It's coming in right now. Looks like they're going to opt for an A.
Fate is my man to watch right now, simply because he's the only player that has that payload available. He needs to check his corners, and he finds one player, doesn't check the left side, and it's going to cost him his life. Doesn't get to use it. Eminence now with the bomb. Backabek gets a big double, as it will be an even situation. 2v2 to potentially decide the map. Dean comes flying in and cleans up 1 kill. Rival, last one alive, and he's in the thick and thin of it all.
Wow,
gets one. Go. It's a 1v1. Can Validate.Black? He gets the shot. No! Jeez! Bring it to round 11. It is going the distance. Kyle, we have payloads in the hands of a few of these players. This round is going to come down to raw gun skill and who can use those payloads most effectively.
I know. Actually, at the end of that last round, I think we did see Backabek burn that reactive armor to get a second kill. He shot that one player in the back and then cleaned up the second, so it is out. And it's down to Eminence with camo and Fate here with his reactive armor as well. This realistically should be a Chiefs round.
And they're on the defensive side as well. They're in a great position to take out this round 11. What do Rival.Black do. They're kind of mimicking what had happened in the previous round of just taking their time. They realize how big of a situation this is. Going up 2-0 in the Chiefs in the losers bracket round 6 is a massive deal. The winner of this, of course, goes into losers bracket final. Eminence has popped the camo. He got it twice, but only 1 kill this time. Fate, though, reactive armor allows him to get a 2nd kill for his team, and now the numbers are in favor of the Chiefs.
Wow, looks like a few early burns of those payloads there. They really didn't secure much other than just regular gunfights. I would have liked to see those held on to, and Maka trades that kill out, and it's a 2v2 now. It's the Protege and the Master versus Dean and Lakey.
Oh, Rival tags him up. Players just jump up in the sky, but Rival drops Dean, and
And
that
it's
is it.
over.
Validate Black win it. They go up 2-0 in this series and are 1 map away from doing the impossible and going all the way to the losers bracket final. I almost can't believe what we're seeing here.
Will, that was a monstrous choke. They had 2 huge payloads, and they threw that game in the bin. I cannot believe that just happened.
Eminence got that active camo twice, but was only able to get 1 kill in the middle of the map. In that previous round where he used it, he got 2 for his team. Maybe that's the game changer there, but I can't believe Validate Black was no payloads going up against a reactive armor and an active camo. Josh still somehow walk away with a round 11.
No other way to do it than a round 11 between these two teams. The Chiefs looking down in the dumps at the moment. Hopefully they can dig their way out. Validate Black. They have their validation for the organization after the previous team were eliminated by the Chiefs. But here we are in our losers bracket semi-final. They're fighting for a minimum 3rd place finish. We're going to be checking out some of the highlights. And Kyle, I think every round was its own highlight reel.
Oh yeah, Josh. I mean, we saw some pretty impressive plays. Some nice camo into middle. And I know that Rival sort of did a bit of a jerk move, popped his camo and stood above another player. Didn't even bother to aim in, he just hit-fired him on the top of the head.
We're having a look at some of these replays now. That was obviously the first round. It went 1 for 1 into round 3. Fate, we talked about him a little bit earlier, how we're waiting for him to warm up. He did indeed warm up, but Curry, it wasn't enough to get him the win, especially when it was so clutch in that round 11.
That round 11 could have gone either way, but if we have to bring something out of that, it's something we've discussed on the desk here in depth, is the ineffectiveness sometimes these teams use with those payloads, not getting the most out of them, and that right there has hurt Chiefs in a big way.
Now, there are a few people on Twitter saying that if anyone's going to take a victory away from Mind Freak or Tainted Minds, it's going to be the Chiefs, but they're currently down 2-0 in this series against Validate Black. Look, Kyle, with so much experience in the scene, what do you think of the statement that Chiefs are the only team that can take it to Tainted Minds and Mind Freak? Do you think that's accurate, or do you think Validate Black really do have their, sorry to use the same pun, but do they have their validation to say they're actually the team to take it to the Monsters?
I mean, looking at this series so far and a little bit of the previous ones, I mean, Chiefs are just making big errors and just doing things they shouldn't be doing. Like, again, I can't get past those 2 payloads just wasted in the last round.
Oh, look how fired up Maka was in that. He's getting into it. That's what you love to see from Validate Black.
Curry, you obviously took us through some of the action, and Kyle was talking about those wasted payloads. We went through it play by play. Tell us, how big exactly were those payload losses? Because the crowd couldn't believe it, neither could I.
I couldn't believe it while commentating it. There was a few ones where Backabek could have just popped it when Fate challenged him and then won that one earlier, and it could have not gone the distance to around 11. Don't put yourself in a situation where if you lose one round, you lose a map. I think it's better to just use them earlier and effectively. Just overall summarized in one easy point was Chiefs, if they want to win this uplink, they have to use them better.
Indeed they do. Now, Kyle, we obviously know how important rig and payload usage is. Can you just tell us a little bit specifically about what went wrong and what might have been the game changer for those couple of players?
I mean, speaking specifically of payloads, you spoke that you reckon that Backabek probably should have popped his payload a little bit earlier, but that would have just been pretty similar for what Fate did and just fight for a 1v1. I mean, it could have worked. It probably would have clutched him out of the game, and it was around 5-3, I think it was something like that. So it could have been, it could have been a straight up just a win right there, and they would have had man advantage. They could have grouped and then just pushed around the map together and just sort of cleaned up kills. I mean, I think he made the right play, even though it could have gone either way.
Was the payloads... Sorry, Josh, just want to quickly interject on this one. Payloads, in my opinion, should be able to get more than 1 kill.
Agreed.
Agreed in that. And the payloads that were used were only for one-on-one engagements. They weren't able to get that second kill to just change things up in the search and destroy. That's really just what's kind of put Chiefs in an awkward situation right now.
Awkward situation, probably an understatement here, as they are one map away from being eliminated in the 4th spot here in the CWL Sydney Open presented by PS4. They have been close matches though. A 70-point hard point. Yes, there is over a minute of time separating those two teams, but as we know, if you saw the match, it was extremely close, head-to-head action for most of the way. Then Scorch went to the round 11. Improper payload usage probably went pretty bad for the guys on Chiefs. Now we take the throwback uplink. It's been a little while since we've seen this map and game type combo here on the main stage. This is make or break time for the Chiefs. Kyle, let's talk a little bit about their uplink gameplay. Chiefs have obviously played this really well. It's got them this far. Do they have what it takes now that they're backed into a corner to get the win against Validate.Black?
Well, I mean, the spawns here on Throwback aren't quite as tight as the spawns on Frost, and as we know, they've sort of played a little bit defensively, so it could be a little bit interesting to see how they play this map out. They sort of get stuck on the spawn kill, and I mean, the players from Chiefs haven't been delivering KD-wise, so thinking about this series, I mean, Chiefs just absolutely have to slay and sort of maintain a little bit of middle control, because I think as soon as they get on that back foot, it may snowball a little bit not in their favor.
The difference between these two teams in the rig draft is your Centurion and your FTL jump. Kyle, which of those two would you personally, as a player, want to have coming into such an important map?
Well, I mean, this map has sort of a lot of tight lines where you can sort of just bounce in and out with FTL. And I guess you get FTL a little bit more, but I think the main part in choosing the striker class there is to get the trophy drone versus Centurion, just so you can bounce off a few of the extra nades on the pushes. And I mean, that makes the difference between being able to tank basically a cap with ball armor between just dying as well.
This is the crazy, just to give you a perspective of how much pressure is on the Chiefs right now. They have high hopes to take the one APAC spot available in the Call of Duty Global League, which is just weeks away. It's just around the corner in terms of just how quick we've gotten to this stage where we have to start thinking about teams that are going over there. If Chiefs lose this, they're out of the competition. They're not going to rack up the amount of CWL Pro points necessary to even be in contention for that first spot in the first Global League. Kyle, the pressure is on their shoulders. You've been in situations where it's come down to single maps that determine entire tournament lives. What's it like just having such a weight on your shoulders?
I mean, I'm going to speak for myself here, and I think this is where I get the most excited, I get the most fired up. This is where I really bring the heat. But I don't know if these guys on Chiefs can do that. I know Fake can be a little bit emotional. Not sure for Lakey, but I know Dean can go down in the dumps often. But I mean, he should be the one picking his team up here, and I've got a lot of trust in Eminence to basically pick this team up.
He already had one crazy uplink game. What's to say he can't do it again? Lightning does occasionally, very rarely, strike twice. And the Chiefs, they need a miracle. Swinging into the action, we'll talk about the man who was just discussed, Eminence, and see how he approaches this one. Can he lead the Chiefs into a map number 4 and keep their CWL Sydney Open one LAN event hopes alive? Into the action we go. It's an uplink on Throwback.
Looks like we've got Eminence here off your break. Looks like he's had a teammate being traded out, and Validate.Black are going to go up early with the basically the man advantage here. Eminence wrapping around, going to stop ball just in time. I think that was pretty important. If he didn't get that kill, he would have seen his teammates spawn up outside of market, and that might have just been an early point. But back here with ball. It's going to push back in. Looks like this could potentially be a point here. One out, and it's going to go straight in as that player jumps slightly too early.
Yeah, expecting him to come screaming around off that wall run, but it just didn't happen in the end there. Great job by Bakabek to get the first points on the board.
Yeah, nice plays from him. Looks like we're going to see rotations towards middle. As Rival picks up the first kill on Dean, should put them in a good position to take middle map control. And I like that aggression from Bakabek. This is early map control, and it's going to come down to fate to be able to stop this ball from going in right here, right now.
Dean, fresh off the spawn, has to get the kill on Bakabek and support the rest of his team. One player from Validate.Black will be swift as well. He's already got 2 players, and he went for the throw. Unfortunately, not quick enough, as there still is Rival lurking in the base before Dean. does a full house clean and gets him out of his spawn, pushing into middle of the map. He's got his 4th kill, looking through his 5th on a player, tags him up, but Dean, straight out of this life, is having a good series.
Oh,
That's
nice.
his 7th kill, 5 in a row, 200 points away from score streaks. If he can get some score streaks in his back pocket in the first 2 minutes, he could definitely get Chiefs off. He's 1 kill away.
Yeah, nice plays here from Dean. He's going to clean up this kill and get streaks. 50 points off his next here. This next kill he gets is going to be pretty damn important. And he's going to clean it up.
Oh, wow, what a huge kill, and he does die. Dean killing Back there and has now set himself up for some real playmaker potential, so score streaks. But I want to flip it over to Validate.Black. They are in a situation where they're 1 map away from making it to the losers bracket final. What's going through their minds, and more importantly, what's coming out in those communications? Let's jump into a listening with Validate.Black.
Right left. Can't see anything left. Any left? Top food. Top. Now on the straight and top left. Fake tag. Okay, cool. One tunnel side. Aim ball. I don't think they know you're here. Just aim ball. Just aim ball. Just keep aiming ball. He's on their base. Got him. Nice, that's two. Kill this guy. For the one. I'm going for one. Bowling's 1 shot. Dead. Nice. Come up left. Stay together. They could be in our base. We're still looking for one. Bowling out. I'm going mid to right. Go right, Jack. I'm coming. Right, I'm gonna go left side. Go mid. Ice one blue. One middle. Wait, I'm flanking. Ray 5 shot. Right now. I'm flanking.
I'm dead.
One shot.
I have to wait.
Nice. Hey, throw a lemon. Go left side.
Straight.
There's 2. 1 top food, 1 on the pass, 1 lemon.
Reset.
He's on the right corner, top food. Right corner,
I'm
right corner.
I'm watching over you.
I'm watching over you. Don't need challenge.
One's on the left. Top of the street.
One shot left side. There's 2. On the pass. Just stay here, Jack. On the pass. Watch on the pass.
Yeah, ball's on the pass. He's gone to the back already. Back. Ball's my hold it. Just grab it. Bowling. He's on bowling. Throw it off.
Got it out.
Nice, good work.
Bowling, it's 2
One's
bowling.
bus. One's on our bus.
Hey, there's 2 bowling.
Play kills base. Work to get these guys out of our base. Yeah,
One more. Bowling. Push back out.
Nice.
It's Dean.
We can leave him.
You're looking for Dean.
One's in mid.
Bus.
I'm just going mid.
Bus pushing the bridge.
One's up top. Got him. Nice. I'm waiting.
Come back.
Let's go. Get up.
Ice one blue.
He's close on the pass. He's pushing. He's waiting.
He got me.
He's running.
Where'd he go?
Play for a knife cane and play for it. On the pass. There.
Nice chill communications there from the guys of Validate.Black. And it looks like Chiefs have only had really 2 scoring opportunities this entire 5 minutes. It's been all the Validate.Black show right here today.
We just saw an interception to not allow Validate.Black to go up 2-0 in the scoreboard. Kyle, listening to the communication, from what I've gathered, these guys, they sound like a squad that have been teaming for months. Communication on point. They understand what needs to be done, and right now they need more points on the board. Mako throws it, and boosh, that is in. That's an easy point, and a 2-0 lead coming into potentially the second half.
Yeah, look, Curry, let's talk about this half a little bit. Look at the KDs from Chiefs. Dean is 23 and 6.
I wanted to bring it up, but we're in the middle of like a listen-in. No one besides Dean is getting kills. Right now, he's the only reason why Chiefs aren't down by like 5 or 6 points.
Dean looks really impressive statistically, but it doesn't matter when you're down 0-2. The entire half was just typified by Chiefs just being basically forced back into their own base, with Validate not quite being able to capitalize on the throws.
And Dean, of all people, is the one that's top scoring. You'd expect like Eminence or Lakey to drop numbers like that in just 1 half. 23 and 7 to be exact. No one else except for Lakey is in the double figures. We have to watch Dean off the break. That's the interesting point as well. He still has score streaks and is yet to use them.
Yeah, unfortunately he gets taken out very early on the round, but he's still sitting on those streaks. And this could easily still be a Chiefs game. They're only up by a dunk. Mac is still pushing up here, but again, the same thing is happening as the early first half. Though Dean, again with a huge 2-piece, cleaning things up and basically preventing that entire push from going down for Validate.Black.
Why do you think that Dean hasn't opted to use these score streaks yet?
because they've never been in a position to actually capitalize off of the streaks. Yeah, he could have maybe cleaned his base out once, but you really want to be using those streaks aggressively to get some points.
Right, Eminence is pushing into the base of Validate.Black. He has support from Lakey, who just dropped before Dean gets a kill. Nice read by Eminence to take out Maka. One player will be contesting him, as it will be back around the corner. He does clean him up. This could be the opportunity that Chiefs need to get something on the board. Do they go for the 1 point play? They don't, and unfortunately, they're going to drop short. Unless Dean can dunk it in, he does do so. The guys over at Chiefs are back in this map. I want to hear what is going on with these boys. They seem to be hyped up, so let's just jump straight into a listening with the boys from Chiefs.
Might juke it.
Yeah, he did.
He's weak in tunnel. He's pushing tunnel rival.
Mid.
B1 diner. B1 and diner.
B1 tunnel. B1 tunnel.
Tunnel, watch your rival.
Tunnel dead.
B1. Wait, they may try.
They went underpass. Underpass.
Going for one quick one.
I'm going up. Nice.
I got ball. Nice. Would they be blue side?
Wait, hold lemon. I can streak him.
We need mid. Alright.
Let's go. Let's hold something and I can streak him, and we'll just force him in our gunfight.
I'll try and push up right side. I'll try and sneak him.
Oh, hold
Lemon.
fast.
Two lemon. Nate's right side, Nate's field. Fuck. He's pushing tunnel. One shot. Absolute.
One bullet left. Swift. Push it down the street.
Nice, big kills.
Two straight.
Left. You may have...
Underpass, Bobby.
Watch out, nice.
Go. I'll go bowling.
He's gonna go one for one. He's gonna one. He's not gonna go bowling.
All good.
I may almost have...
Nothing right.
I'm like a quarter to camo.
Lemon weak. Absolute Nate.
Stay alive. He got me.
Oh, Nate.
Nice kill, man.
That's
two.
Push up the
one's by B3. He's pushing outside.
Got me. I got one.
Where did he nade from?
Where is he?
I don't know.
In my tunnel.
Might be left.
Yeah, I'm swinging blue side. They'll be on our left side already.
They're underpass.
I'm gonna
top
OE
their
red.
base. Top their base.
I'm gonna OE red.
Yeah, one on our bus. He's standing on the bus.
Top their base.
Top base.
One's watching red
Top
OE.
base
Dead.
One's on the pass or the base.
They hate.
Got me.
One behind.
Fuck, he's shitting me.
They pushing out fast.
Ken is pushed out.
How far off camo are we?
I'm like
They
a
can go
quarter.
Underpass.
Yeah,
In our base.
yeah,
Already. There's two.
No, back right. Nice.
Underpass.
Underpass side. Nice, good shit.
He's coming to you, please.
I got him. He's one shot. Nice.
Let's go.
Alright.
Let's start playing control.
I'm gonna streak.
I'm gonna flank red.
Stay hold.
Yeah.
They're all lemon and top their base. I streaked. They're gonna jump at you, whoever's lemon.
Yeah, they nade me.
I'm one shot. I got
Red dead.
one. There might be one more. Pushed up, Reef.
I don't know where he is.
Top their base. Dead.
Oh, lemon. Kanan.
Can you kill him?
Legit under their base.
I don't know where he went.
He's shooting me. I got out.
It has taken over 5 minutes worth of gameplay for Dean to break out those streaks, and ineffectively they were used. He still does have one left. Centurion hasn't even been dropped yet. Lakey now with his own payload. With a minute remaining, is this Validate's 3-0 clean sweep about to happen, Vile?
Basically, listening to the team's sort of mentality here and those call-outs, they're pretty composed, but honestly, the whole time listening to that, I can hear the team of Validate.Black coming 10 times as hard, 10 times as fast. They're fired up, and that's really nothing like the Chiefs squad right now.
Rifle with the drone in hand is so close to that active camo. If you can get a 1 point. Look, I like this. Just hold on to it, not resetting it, as we have talked for so long. Keeping it in his team's possession. Wants to just handball it off to his teammate, but that just doesn't work out too well, as his teammate does drop in the end. 30 seconds remaining. Validate.Black, they are so close to advancing to the losers bracket final.
Yeah, looks like that ball didn't reset straight away. A little bit of struggle to grab it. And this could be a huge fight in middle. Basically, the Chiefs have 15 seconds left to push this ball in and get this last cap. They absolutely have to score right now.
This is a moment of truth for the Chiefs if they want to keep their CW or Sydney chances alive. He's going to go for the throw. Doesn't get it off. 4 seconds remaining. It's up to Lakey. Lakey can't do it, and it's going to be Validate.Black with the upset. Goodbye and go home, says Maka. Validate.Black make one of the biggest upsets this weekend and take it in a 3-0 fashion. I can't believe I have just said that. 3 maps, won by Validate.Black, and the Chiefs, they're going home.
If you were Dean right now, you want to be slapping teammates. I mean, we just saw Lakey facepalm there. He's not happy. Dean, mate, if you can hear me, just slap your teammates up the side of the head, mate. Not good at all.
What an amazing series of Validate.Black versus Dean. That was indeed a great performance by Dean there from the Chiefs. Unfortunately, the rest of the squad, I don't know what happened. The hands might have fallen off or something crazy happened. Either way, Validate.Black, the better team to perform here on the main stage in the losers bracket semi-final of the CWL Sydney Open 1 presented by PS4. I must give congratulations to the Chiefs for making it this far. You know, it's all fun and games, and it was a stellar performance by Dean, but the entire squad got so far thanks to their teamwork. And don't forget the individual performances, especially yesterday, it was Lakey's day. Today, it was Eminence. Fate picked it up as well in their previous series. Overall, the Chiefs should be very happy with their performance, but Validate.Black, as we go through the highlights, Curry, tell me what set them apart.
Just Validate.Black working as a team and Chiefs relying on Dean to just keep them in that series. He was the only player dropping numbers from the get-go. I want to bring up a bit of a topic though, the score streaks that weren't utilized by Dean. In the listening that we did, you could hear him coming, let's just use our streaks and push up. They didn't do it for like a good 5 minutes. Of course, as we discussed it during the actual commentary, that they weren't in a situation. Maybe use the score streaks to get themselves in a situation where they can score.
Yeah, but I mean, they could have hoped for a 4-down at the least. But I mean, that's what would have been necessary for them to even basically touch middle map.
You can see here through the highlights, it's all a Validate.Black and Dean highlight reel. 27 and 9 here. Dean, oh my gosh. I mean, I think we need a high rating on the game for that kind of sodomy because that was just huge gameplay from him. Again, we talked about the inconsistencies of the squad, and Kyle, if they were all playing like my boy Dean in that one, they would be continuing through and no doubt be in the losers bracket final.
Yeah, I mean, Dean basically saved them the game. That's why it was so low scoring. I mean, there was one moment where Fate, I did call out that he needed to get a pretty big kill to stop another point from going through, and he did. Congrats to him, but it's not enough. It just took far too long for them to get out of their own base, and it's the story of all their other matches. But against better teams, just being stuck in your base is not going to work. You have to take middle map control, you have to group up, and you have to work as a team.
This was the final few seconds of the match, and look at this. Maka giving him the wave, sending him home, and he is very passionate and fired up. As we said at the beginning, very, very respectful. But the man is a player. He's a pro, or player. He's also a professional Call of Duty player. And that was obviously a great performance by him in the squad. And you can see the passion is still very much alive in the seasoned veteran Maka and the entire squad of Validate.Black. They get their vengeance for the sister squad, Validate Red, who were just eliminated by the very same team, the Chiefs. And they took them out in a 3-0 fashion. Curry, they have to be happy about that.
They got to be ecstatic about it. No one really saw them actually kind of taking out the Chiefs. It was going to be an uphill battle from the start. But after that, it was just like, oh, map 1, they won that somewhat convincingly. Map 2, they clutched up really well. Map 3, holy hell, this is actually going to happen.
I mean, Maka did call it in that pre-game interview. He had respect for them, as he should have. But he also said, if we're playing well, it can be a 3-0, and it was.
We're going to see the winners bracket final coming up next. But you can see there the series overview. It was all Validate.Black. We are getting set up for Mind Freak versus Tainted Minds. This is the match that we've all been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are hyped. This is going to be intense. If there's any time to call in your family and friends to come and watch this stream, it is right now. Make sure you do tweet the stream. We are live here from MLG.TV. Use that hashtag CWLPS4. This is the Call of Duty World League presented by PS4. We're going to be back with the winners bracket final right after this.